Hello, Alex. It's great to have you with us today at Vacheron Constantin.
Christian, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be at Vacheron.
We are in a very special place within the manufacture. I call this place personally the hidden gem of Vacheron Constantin. And so we are at the restoration workshop.
Christian, I'm delighted to be in the hidden gem with you. And I think I'm really looking forward to discovering what you're hiding.
We are in 2021, and as you know, Alex, we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the American 1931. So we took this register out of our archive, and you can see here the first sketch of the American 1921.
Wow. I remember we spoke not too long ago about the American 21, and I remember saying how forward-thinking it was at the time,
Very much.
100 years ago, to come out with something which is so different from what we were used to seeing at the time, and so different from what we saw after.
In front of me, I have this beautiful timepiece. So this is one American 1921 from our private collection. And we thought about creating a very unique project. So, let's have a look.
Wow. Okay. It's definitely an American 1921.
It is.
But it's more than 1921.
Take your time.
I'm intrigued. Please tell me more. Please tell me more.
So, Alex, in fact, this is a very unique project. We thought about recreating an American 1921 entirely by hand.
Oh, wow.
Exactly like it was made in the 20s.
Identically.
Identically, exactly. So this is a recreation of this icon.
So basically what you did is you studied the past
Yep.
to create this today's watch.
Exactly.
But did you use modern techniques or the original techniques?
We have used modern techniques exclusively to cut plate and bridges. And all the rest has been done 100% by hand.
Wow. So drilling the holes,
Yes.
polishing, brushing, polishing the teeth
Yes.
of the gears, the wheels.
We have a very nice example. So we have this machine here, which is from the beginning of the 20th century, which is used to round up teeth typically. On top of that, our master watchmaker had also to recreate some tools or to use tools from the beginning of the 20th century. It kind of looked like lathe or staking tools or drilling tools, for example. For them, it was an incredible challenge because, as you know, Alex, when we talk about watches from 100 years from now, there are many things which have been kind of lost in terms of know-how. And I'm thinking particularly about when it's about movement finishing. So our watchmakers in the restoration workshop, they made a kind of archaeology. And they had to reinvent or rediscover how to, for example, set the jewels exactly like it was 100 years ago.
It would seem logical that they had to relearn
Yeah.
or to actually learn methods that they didn't know about because
Sure.
that's not what they learn in watchmaking school and not the way they work. And they had to put themselves in the shoes of a Vacheron Constantin watchmaker from 1920.
Yes. And by great chance, we had all the components, meaning pinions, gear, wheels, and look at these rubies. They are coming from 1 century ago. And these are the kind of rubies our watchmakers have to set on the movement. So an endless list of challenges. And I was talking with my colleagues here the other day, and they were talking to me, at the beginning, we were not sure at all to be able to succeed with this recreation, but they did it.
I'm impressed because I frankly don't think I've ever heard of a major brand do such a thing and to actually make one watch from scratch by hand. It's a true act of love almost.
Yeah, it is, exactly. For us, I mean, it was, like I was mentioning, it was about celebrating this anniversary, but also demonstrating, I would say, the very high level, the extremely high level of our restoration workshop and our ability to be able to service and to restore any Vacheron Constantin from 1750 until this day. On top of that, I would say also it was very much a human adventure because it was a joint work between heritage department and the restoration department. And it was an adventure as well.
I think it's incredible. And I'm also impressed by how faithful it is to the original model.
Yes.
Nevertheless, it looks different. There is an element of contemporary to it. Maybe is it the heft, the feel. It's not just a pure recreation, but it is more than a homage as well.
Yeah, it's true. I think that the feeling that we have that this is a vintage, however modern, is the fact that it's brand new and unused.
Yeah.
I mean, this is maybe this reason. And Alex, I would like also to talk also to you about how we made the case as well. As you can imagine, the yellow gold case has been entirely made in this workshop here by our colleagues, and polished by hand, made on vintage machines, lugs soldered by hand. Yeah, definitely.
There's one thing I was very impressed about, and now that you're talking about the case, is engraving on the case back. It looks as if it's hand engraved.
It looks like, because it is. We didn't use any modern solution for the engraving of the bridges or the case back, so it was made also by hand by our colleagues of the Métier d'Art workshop. So, another example of how to be faithful to the great tradition.
And you really see the difference between hand engraving and machine engraving, and hand engraving is definitely not 1 but 10 notches above.
Yeah, absolutely. To talk about the dial, so we have, of course, a grand feu enamel dial in 2 parts. So the small seconds is another small enamel dial. Something which is also, Alex, super interesting is that the fact that you see that we have superb blued steel hands. And guess what? They are coming from 1920 and they were not yet blued. And we made it here recently.
Wow.
So they were blued in 2021, more than 100 years later.
After having been made.
So that is another fabulous example.
So that's really a component that has gone through 100 years to end up where it should have been originally. I think the story is incredible. As you said, it's an adventure. And it's just mind-boggling to think that a brand, that this watch was made, it's not a marketing piece.
No, it's not.
It's not made by a committee. It's made by watchmakers. We're going back to the root of our hobby of watchmaking, which are watchmakers. And it's a watch. It's a pure object. It's an objet d'art even, done just for the beauty of being able to say, we can do it.
Yeah. This is also a testimony of our commitment for preserving and maintaining our traditions alive. This is the story of the recreation of the American 1921. And I think this story will continue because this unique timepiece, this recreation, will be sent to New York.
It's going back.
It's going back to America, where we are going to open our new flagship boutique. And it will be in the month of June. And later, it will travel around the world. So the story goes on.
I think I have to say bravo and kudos to the Vacheron Constantin team, and I'm very excited to have been one of the first to see this amazing watch.
Coming from vintage watch specialists like you, it's a great compliment. Thank you. I would like to say on my side, very basically, I was just blown away by this timepiece.
I mean, it's more than a watch. I mean, it's also very wearable.
Yeah.
We're talking about it as if it's just a piece of art, which it is. But it's also a superbly elegant watch. It's refined, it's sophisticated. It's a gentleman's watch. It truly is a work of art.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to have you with us today, and I'm really happy that you have appreciated this creation.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Christian.
Thanks.